Friends and fellow travelers, hi, it's Brandon coming at you from Pepin, Wisconsin, and today we are down in Bluff Country. I'll let you take a look at the marina here in Pepin on our next adventure. Beautiful area. We've been on the other side of the river over there, just Minnesota right across, or in Wisconsin here. On our way down to the state park, Ash and Winnie are with me today. Lots of boats. Historic town of Pepin behind us. We'll see where this day brings us today. Out at the water, there is a beach here. Fun fact, friends, this village is the birthplace of the famous author Laura Ingalls Wilder. So Pepin, Wisconsin. Would never have known that unless I visited. That other side is Minnesota. Place Ash has been many times. Over on the other side of the marina, you'll see is a really good restaurant that Ash has eaten at. She says the Pickle Factory, where she's had an adult beverage or two. Can never go wrong with pickles for me. Looking back up north in the direction of the cities. That isn't the cities, but that is the direction that is going. Windy today. It's supposed to be warm, although I'm sure a little cooler by the water. Nice little seating area. Fishermen out. Pretty day so far. I like that they have this walkway you can take. Small little village over there. Winston happy to go on another adventure before the baby arrives. 6 weeks or less for baby Charlotte to make her appearance. And the end product of our walk here, of course, you can also walk out on that rock surface over there where the eagles now perch themselves looking for their meal. Train is going to cross. And friends, as I take a couple pictures for Instagram, I say thank you to all of you for your support as we get closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate all of you on this journey. This is just the beginning for us. And I say, if you are interested in a more photogenic side of our adventures, please check out the Instagram. We just hit 3,000 followers over there, and we thank you all for that. If you're interested in the photography side, feel free to check that out. I always post a link in the description. Stranded by a train. Winston hates trains. He hates the noise they make, that screeching brake sound.
But he loves to walk.
Loves to walk. But we had a train in Red Wing, which is north of here, along the Mississippi River. This is like Lake Pepin / the Mississippi River, technically. But they both technically flow through here. Otherwise, that train in Red Wing went right by where we were walking, and Winston was freaking out about that. So, just our first stop today. We're gonna make it down to Merrick State Park. Whatever else catches our eye on this journey. There's also Perrot State Park down here in Bluff Country. as we're just entering the beginning of Bluff Country here. Perrot State Park is supposed to be extremely scenic, and Merrick is more of the water sports recreation type. So just an idea of what we're going to get involved in today. Very beautiful area in our home state, and then not our home state across over there. Eventually we're going to run out of state parks in Wisconsin. We're going to see all of them, so we're getting there. Burnett Island is coming up also, and finally that train is passed. There's a huge, one of those big chairs over by the pickle factory over there we'll have to go sit in. But otherwise, on to the next stop. And no visit to Pepin would be complete without a massive train, or a massive chair, a train. I hear a train in the background. The massive pickle factory chair. And this sign that has the distances of countless locations. Lake City, Cancun, Belize, St. Louis, where I'm from, 587 miles, huh? Red Wing, all the way up. Another view out to the water. Nice little find here. And this is that pickle factory that we were talking about that we have to eat at. Ash is eating here by herself, but we haven't had it together. Okay, friends, we reached a parking lot here at Merrick State Park. This is near Fountain City, Wisconsin, and across the river from Winona that we had a video that we did in Winona back in the winter. From my understanding of researching this area briefly, Perrot State Park is going to be the more scenic one of the area. With that being said, on this goal to witness all of what everywhere has to offer, we're trying to knock out all of the state parks within our home state and within the next door neighbor, Minnesota. So we'll take a gander. Some water, lots of campsites here though, group camps, tent camping sites, larger camping sites for RVs and for larger vehicles. It looks like some kind of a path over here. You're supposed to be able to see some of the bluffs in the background also here, so but this is also getting down towards the La Crosse area. Looking out again at the water. Okay, so it's clearly these are more camping areas. Somebody left their waste there. Huh. Somebody with boat trailers. So friends, ultimately not a lot here in terms of the hiking. There are only 3 miles of hiking trails in the park here at Merrick State Park. There's a little playground. Lots of camping opportunities with river access to the Mississippi. But as far as talking about opportunities for hiking, I mean, not a lot. Looks like a trail finally up here of some kind. I'm just looking around the nature center. there is so few hiking opportunities here that when you look up the state park, when you research it, there isn't a lot of guidance about trails. There's not any blazes. So, very interesting for such a state park in such a serene location. But this does have the look of some kind of makings of a trail. Going up towards the backwaters of the Mississippi here. Beautiful trees, the pine. The smell of the pine is just overwhelming in this area. It's pretty. This just strikes me as more of a trail for water recreation and maybe camping. Some pretty sights. But ultimately, I didn't really plan to make it to Perrot State Park today, but we might. We had a little snack here. And this might be the day that we finally make it down to Perrot State Park near La Crosse. La Crosse is a fantastic area as far as natural beauty, and there's just a lot to do. I think we're gonna hike a little bit along the river here, and then we'll see. I'm gonna go get Ash and let her know what's in the area and see what her thoughts are. Some nice views of the river water, the Mississippi River waters. You can see all the way over to Minnesota and the bluffs that way. It's a nice trail. Sand and nature as you walk along the water. This is our second visit to Bluff Country, you know, going back to that Winona video, and we've always been pretty happy with our trips. Much warmer this time, no snow covering the trail. As you know, we made that hike up to that Sugarloaf Bluff in very cold, windy, and snowy conditions. That was fun. It's an adventure for sure. And one I won't soon forget, and I don't think Ash will either. But ultimately, it was a nice stay in Winona. Back in the days before the GoPro, to show how long winter was ago now. The heart of winter, anyway. But, you know, ultimately saying that we need to get back down to Bluff Country and stay, probably La Crosse. You know, and then you start thinking about things like the driftless area that meanders over into Iowa and that sort of thing. So some scenic locations in that border, that Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin tri-state area over there. Lots of spots though to sit. They have benches very, very frequently, with opportunities to just take a look at the river. And the thing that strikes me is how much marsh there is in this area. So much marshland. Just not something I would attribute, but you know, as you get closer to that driftless area, from what I read, it's more common. So yeah, looking back as we finally found the trail in this park. Friends, as we walk back to the car, I think our overwhelming statements about this state park, as we hiked a very short distance, I think the trail goes more along the river the other direction. My thought is, if you're gonna come to this state park, you gotta camp here. Bring the boat, bring the kayak or the canoe, because otherwise you're not gonna get the full effect. And Ash and I don't have kayaks with us today, and quite honestly, we're not camping down here today. So with respect to what they're trying to do here,
It's
yeah,
poopy.
it's not my ideal state park. So, you know, I probably should have just picked to go to Perrot today. However, we made it here and we move on to the next place. Dump station over there is nice. They have all the accommodations for RVs, for camping, for getting on the boats. They have a shower house. Saturday programs free at 7 p.m. I assume at that nature center. Yes, on that sign. You know, they have these programs and everything, and it's great. But if you're a hiker like I am and like Ash is, it's great to come here to check it off your Wisconsin list. But there's not a lot of hiking trails here. So if you're coming here to hike, probably not the best idea. Stay the night or get in the water. But otherwise, it's not going to be a camper's or a hiker's paradise. So those are my thoughts. I appreciate you joining us. Some pretty flowers.
A bunch of dogs.
Winston still had a good time, but you know, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't amount to what you expected. Lunch with a view, friends, as we have arrived at Perrot State Park in Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Not too far from La Crosse as we get closer and find ourselves more in that driftless area. Definitely Bluff Country. Very scenic. Ash and Winnie are over there. We've got a nice lunch planned. It's the interpretive center right there. And it looks like it's spelled parrot, but it is pronounced Perrot because that is for Nicolas Perrot, who was a French explorer to this area in the 1700s. And I don't know, just another piece of information maybe you needed to know or didn't need to know. But it's illegal to pick flowers in this prairie. It's beautiful though. We'll show you some more after lunch. But I've been waiting to see this state park for a while. Lots of things to do. And of course you have the Trempealeau National Wildlife Refuge right next door. This is an area worth exploring, my friends. And we're here and we'll show you. And I can't wait to take a hike here. The weather's warm, but it's cloudy, it's overcast. And for now, it's pleasant. So we'll be back. Friends, beginning our first adventure here at Perrot State Park. Reaching the River View Trail. I would say there is a river view. Some people swimming in the river. As you can look off and see the beautiful nature with the bluffs in the background. This state park very highly rated when I was looking at it in comparison to Merrick, the last place we stopped. Trail is okay with wood chips and some grass right along the bluffs, as we'll see as we round the corner here is my prediction. The overcast has kind of maintained, so the temperature is kept not as hot as Merrick was, as the sun was poking out, and they were calling for high 80s and low 90s today, so still warm for Wisconsin standards as we adventure on for you. Lots of marshland. Again, swampy. You know, it wouldn't be my first choice of a swimming hole. And, you know, I'm no stranger to swimming. I'm very familiar with just getting in the water. But I can't say that the river here is tempting me to get in it. And I know Ash made the comment, she's like, wow, they're swimming in that? So, I mean, it's a fair point. I'm sure it'll continue to get more scenic as we increase in altitude. But it's already looking up to be a beautiful place. Came up to this overlook with a boardwalk going up to it. We'll see what's up here. Looking back, there's another parking lot where you can unhitch, do whatever you need to do. Beautiful state park so far, and today it hasn't been too miserably hot. Reaching the top of those overlook steps. Down below. Just came from down there. Beautiful sight. Just a few short steps up the boardwalk from this parking lot. It's a great little excursion. Very short trail from where we had parked by the interpretive center. And you run into that sprawling river view. One trail down. What else is looming here at Perrot State Park? Back to the bottom of the stairs. After that pretty epic look across the valley and through the bluffs, back the other direction. We went up, and there was like a crossroads at the trail. So we opted to go this way because there's a black walnut trail up there that very expressly has a warning for ticks. And as you know, friends, we recently had a battle with ticks with Winston, so let's not do that today since he's along. Lots of cottonwood marring the trails, but walking by some pretty cool swampland. Another very notable trail of this area is Brady's Bluff. Now that will take you uphill and give you a very adamant view of the river valley. Again, we're right by Pepin, Wisconsin, which not too far down the road, maybe 30 miles or so from La Crosse. So venturing through what I would say is southwestern Wisconsin today. Some pretty cool rock structures up there. Some pretty diverse sights here at Perrot State Park that I so desperately want to naturally call it Perrot, but it's not, it's Perrot. You can just see the sprawling bluffs in front of us. And compared to Merrick State Park, there is, so far, there has not been a dull part of this park. I mean, we ate lunch in front of a beautiful valley with countless wildflowers. You just have a lot of opportunities, it seems here, to enjoy what this driftless region has to offer. Another little spot where you can walk right up to the river.
Ow.
Pretty.
Okay, buddy. No.
When he wants to get in to the Trempealeau River. I don't know about that.
You want to see it? Go.
See what he thinks.
Go ahead. Go.
He's a little scaredy.
Go ahead. Well, that's what he wants.
It's a drink out of the Trempealeau River, I guess. Beautiful scenery.
Oh, there you go.
This would be stunning in the fall.
Good boy. You're cooling down in there? There you go. Okay, come on.
Another parking area. And over here by some boat trailer parking. As we get closer to the boat ramp. And that brings us right over to the boat ramp. Friends, we have made it over to the boat ramp. And you know, there is not a point on this section that we're walking right now where I feel like I can put the camera down. Everywhere we look, there's this beautiful river scene with bluffs towering behind it. Even the road fits in perfectly here. I would even argue the road is just laid on top of the land, and that was a quote that I read at Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Ash seems to be pretty happy here. It's just a serene day. It's supposed to be hot. You know, it's warm, but it's not, doesn't feel like it's 90 degrees. And Winston's happy. Turned out to be a great adventure into the driftless area that we see in Wisconsin. And I've wanted to make it to this area even before I called Wisconsin home. The bridge up here is one that you see a lot in pictures, and I've had people say, oh well, that picture's photoshopped in there, that bridge isn't there. Well, we're walking up to it, so I'm pretty certain that bridge is there, unless I have lost my mind all of a sudden. But walking right next to the river, I'm telling you, this is just a very serene experience. Shows you why this driftless region is worth a visit at the very least, or a camping trip. And you've got Merrick State Park, you've got this Perrot State Park, you've got the Trempealeau National Wildlife Refuge, which butts up against this location. You have La Crosse, you have Winona. It's a beautiful area. And yes, we're going to come back down here and feature some of La Crosse for you also. It's just serene, and it's worth a trip. So I'm glad to be able to share this with you. The trails here have not been astoundingly long by any means. We've been able to take two trails relatively quick and get to exactly where we wanted to go. I had no idea where this bridge was, this train bridge. I wanted to see it, and here we are. It's laid perfectly across right in front of that bluff. Be curious to know where Brady's Bluff Trail is. That's my only other thing that I would really like to see while I'm here. Flowers in full bloom. It really is a summer adventure. And looking back, man, that's beautiful. The road goes right along the river. The rocks from the bluffs, the limestone bluffs. Can't make it up. Ash is really enjoying it here. She made the comment that the fall here would be very serene, I couldn't agree more. That bridge across, even they even made the train bridge look good with that bluff in the background. So friends, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have a place down here in the driftless region that we need to see. Otherwise, we're going to keep exploring. And like I said, one of these days we're going to get down to La Crosse too. So another look. Just can't make it up. Wisconsin, my friends. Continuing down the Riverview Trail. There's the bridge right through that bush there. Some cool mushrooms right here on the fallen tree branch decaying, or tree rather. So we continue up the trail, exploring more of the driftless area, driftless region, driftless area, however you coined the name. Ash said, you know, this really doesn't even look like Wisconsin in some parts. Well, I can assure you it is. Remember to look back here, it's not so much. But in other circumstances, you never know what you'll miss. And then it becomes wooded again so quickly. This area is known for where the Trempealeau and Mississippi rivers meet. Pretty purple there. And that's the thing about summer, is the wildflowers are in bloom. Your purples, your oranges, your reds, your yellows. And of course the green. All giving the trail a little bit of a different accent. Just really enjoying this, my friends. Taking it all in. And you know, like I said earlier, we were kind of a little bit discouraged by Merrick State Park, but this one has made up for it. And on our quest to see everything we can in this lifetime and share those adventures with you, one of our favorites in the Wisconsin State Park system so far. Walking along now, another marsh area. We've reached some kind of a small little constructed bridge, and up here there's some steps. We're on a hillside also. Lots of cattails and beautiful foliage here in late July in the driftless region. Something just poked its head up in the water there. I didn't catch it, I don't think. But right on the other side is the river, across from the train tracks. You can kind of see it. There's the river. We're by the marsh, but the river is definitely there. Some more beautiful purple with a pollinator flying around. That's pleasant to see. Here, my friends, is the bumblebee. Hard at work, making its contribution to our ecosystem. Trail continues upward. Straight down. We made it to the road. somebody speeding along in a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Probably not necessary. Another seating area. Got all trails going at this point, friends, just to see exactly where we made it to. Now here, if I'm right, should be the park headquarters. East Brady's Bluff. Well, friends, we wound up taking the road as we opted for a more straight route on the way back. And we wound up at the park headquarters compared to being all the way around on the loop trail. The loop trail goes through Brady's Bluff, so we would have had to go up on the bluff and go around. And we'll have to save that for the next time. Fiance is 33 weeks pregnant almost, and that is that's a lot to ask for. So we're hiking back here at Perrot State Park. We'll get there. I turned the all trails on. We're up to half a mile since then. I'm just curious to see how far we wind up going before we get back, as the river's popping up next to us again. So we made it to a overlook. The Trempealeau's in front of us, the Mississippi behind it. Well, we were down there earlier, so I wonder if that trail, we were right on it, and this is what we walked past. And a beautiful overlook. Catching cats and bag and buffalo, commercial fishing, fishing for fun. River of rivers, the mighty Mississippi. So lots of interpretive signs here also. And the little hillside prairies with all the wildflowers. Back uphill on that other side. As we transcend the road to get back to our car. Keeping all trails going just to see, because I want to see how far we wind up going since we were on the trail. We will see, friends. It's starting to get warmer for sure. The sun is poking out through the overcast, now partly cloudy skies. Can see the flowers a little bit in the prairie. But now we start to see the temperature coming up. Brady's Bluff, somewhere very close to us up here. And back down towards the Trempealeau River and the train tracks. In this very scenic area of southwestern Wisconsin. We made it back to the boat ramp, walking right next to the beautiful Trempealeau River. People getting their boats out. A train just flew by us on that bridge back there that we walked next to. It was crazy. That bridge was hauling. But there's a nice bench here where you can sit and you can enjoy the sights. We're almost back to the car. Where that will conclude our day once we get back. Beautiful sights. Now with the sun coming out, flashing a little bit over the river. Just lighting up the valley. back along the river. Winston had to take off.
Stop. There's a chipmunk.
What he loves is chipmunks.
How'd that feel on your shoulder, Winston? Smacked into a
He just thinks he can take off whenever he wants, friends. I wish we could do that, but he's a beagle, so who knows where he would wind up. I swear there's not a bad view in this park, doesn't matter where you look. And I would be curious, friends, you know, I hiked on that Ice Age National Scenic Trail near Luck, Wisconsin. I would be curious to see if any of that makes its way down here, as they try to capture all the beautiful areas of Wisconsin on that trail. So I'd be very curious. I'll have to look into that 1,200 mile trail that about almost 700 miles are done of it. The all trails. Now keep in mind, this is not the entirety of what we've walked today. Just since we were in the woods past the boat ramp originally, I wanted to start it to kind of help navigate back to our car. We've done 1.25 miles, so that's a good little chunk, considering that is not all of our trip today. We're probably at 2.5 miles. I would times that by 2, because we did walk all the way to the headquarters and now back. So a good little walk. Another view of a bluff. We'll get back. I want to look at a couple of those signs in the prairie while Ash and Winston cool down in the car. And then I'll bid a farewell to you guys until our next adventure. All right, friends, as we promised, we're back near the car. But as I said, let's go through this prairie real quick. I wanted to just look at some of the flowers with you and look at these illustrative signs that they have. It is illegal to pick flowers in a Wisconsin state park. I love these purples though. It's amazing. Peak wildflower season, or maybe just right after it, almost. Maybe it's already peaked and we're on the end of it. But friends, what a day. Starting in Pepin, then Merrick State Park, and now here. We thank you all for watching so much. Pollinators in peril, feast or famine. It was a great day. I will say, here at Perrot State Park, if you guys make it out here, please use the park road to get through the park and to get to the trailhead that you desire. As first time goers to this park, Ash and I had no idea that the park road went all the way through the park. Again, should have researched more than we did. So what did we do? We parked at the first possible place. And then we did that first section of the Riverview Trail, and we realized, oh, there's other parking areas. Well, we were already far enough down the trail that we just continued. And about 3 miles later, we're back at the car. I'm just saying, 3 miles is not a lot for us, but it might be a lot for you. And you might not want to take the extra mile or mile and a half around by the time you're done. If it's a hot day like today, definitely. This is the view from the prairie. Back to the car. Stunning. Even the prairie is beautiful. So I will say again, friends, if you want to do Brady's Bluff, park in the correct spot. If you want to just do the riverside, park in the right spot. They also do canoe and kayak rentals. You don't want to do all that extra walking unless you're planned to do it, especially in the heat. So friends, we really appreciate you joining us today in all of our travels on this road to now 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate all of your time and effort watching our videos, liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, following us on Instagram, following us on TikTok. We are so passionate about this. We can't wait to share this world with you and to share it with Charlotte here, quite frankly, in a month, a little over a month. And to have her join the Traveling Whitcombs family. We are so excited. With that, I hope you all have an amazing week full of adventure. Keep your heads up. We're gonna get through this together. And for Ash, for a tired Winston after those hikes, for the kiddos, I'm Brandon. And we'll see you on the next adventure.